Measures of center. Now, hopefully, a lot of this you already know. And so, what it basically means is we're looking for something in the middle or the center of the data values or the data set. And so, the first thing we're going to look at is the mean, arithmetic mean. It does correspond with average. So, the hardest part of this is actually probably notation. And so, just you want to read this. We're going to focus on the sample mean primarily in this class, even though there's a population mean. Outliers, which are extreme values, do affect the mean, so they may not always be the best thing to use. So the mean is not resistant. It is not resistant to outliers, so keep that in mind. Now, notation. This is a Greek letter sigma, capital letter S. So that always refers to the sum of the data values. X is the actual data values. N is the number of data values for a sample, and big N is the number of data values for a population. So we're going to focus mainly on the sample mean. So just notice the difference, small n, big N, but they work the same way. You add up all the numbers and divide by how many you have. So here we go, we're going to find an example, or this example, we're going to find the mean. And so notice this, X bar always refers to sample mean. This is a mu, it's like a letter M, with the lower Greek letter M. But notice the difference in the two. So we're going to find the sample mean, which means we're going to find X bar. And now what we're going to do is take those data values and add them up like you would with any average, almost any average, and divide by the number of data values that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so nothing says that you can't take out your calculator and find the answer. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So type in 56 plus 89 plus 32 plus 99 plus 78. We get a sum of 354. We're going to divide that by 5. And we get 70.8 for the mean. Now, I have all kinds of things I need to show you that involves technology. Get ready for this. This is going to be exciting stuff. I'm going to take out my graphing calculator and I'm going to show you something. So watch this closely. If you notice, we do have a stat key right there. 83s, 84s have them. So hit the stat key. Edit is where you put the data values in. So hit enter. And then L1 is where I'm going to type in those 5 values. 56. Make sure you type them in correctly. 56, enter. 89, enter. 32, enter. 99, enter. 78, enter. So those 5 values are in there. So you go to quit second mode. It goes to a plain screen. Go to back to stat. Go over to calc. Right arrow. 1 var stats is what you want. Either hit 1 or hit enter. And that's what you want to see on the screen. Then hit enter again. And you'll see the answer. X bar 70.8. Big deal. Got that? 70.8, which is what we're doing. And that works also for the population mean because it's the same formula. Watch this. I have these numbers in an Excel file already. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something called, let me minimize this screen so you can see exactly what we're looking at. I want you to see it all. There's a data right there that I have, and I have a data analysis. You may or may not have that. So to find that, go to File, go to Options, go to Add-ins, and then you want to click that and then click OK or Go. Probably Go, and then click OK, or probably. I'm not going to click it because I already have mine installed. So I think you just click that and then click Go, and then they probably have an option. I'll just click it. Then you want to click the first one. Yeah, just see what I did. Let me do that again. So File, Options, add-ins, click on the tool pack, click go, click there, and then click OK. And then when you go back to data, you should see the data analysis, which I'm going to click now. Descriptive statistics is what I want, so click OK. Now the way I do this is the input range, I click on that box and then I just highlight those all the way down. Click and hold. And then now those cells appear. And then now click on summary statistics, and then on the output range, I click there and then click inside that box and then click anywhere. And you'll see that cell pop up. Then click OK. And there's the mean. See it? There's the mean, which is what I found when I did this way, and also what I found when I did this way. One more way, and the last way I want to do it is big time. It's Stack Crunch. Stack Crunch is found in a couple places. It's actually found in some of the links in your class, but primarily where you want to find it is, and I'm actually in the MyLab Math system. If you click on Question Help, you'll see the Stack Crunch there. I'm not going to bring that up because I already have it right here. I had this for another problem. So right now we are doing this same problem, 56, 89, 13, 99, 78, trying to find 70.8. I've already got those in Stack Crunch. You just type them in. And then what you want to do is you want to go to Stat, go to Summary Stats, Columns, because that's in the column. And then I'm looking at var1. So click that one only. And if you come down here, you see all kinds of good stuff. All kinds. We want the mean only. So I click on that, only the mean pops up over here. Then just click compute, and there's the answer again. See how neat that is? And that's how you do Stack Crunch. Really, really easy. So click options and delete if you don't want to save that. So I'm going to be using Stack Crunch quite a bit, so just be aware. So here we go. This one's a little bit different. This is a calculated mean. What that means is it has a weight. It's like a GPA. And it involves frequencies. And so what it is, this is the one we're going to focus on. You'll take the frequency times each data value, or each data value times the number of times it occurs, divided by the total number of values or frequencies. So let's do this one. I'm actually going to do it by hand kind of quickly. So we're going to find the mean of this. So we have x bar equals, and then if I do it by hand, if I were to write this out, that'd be like 34, 34, and then 54, 54, 54, 54, 54, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, dot, dot, dot. See what I'm doing? I don't want to do that. So there's a faster way, because what I could do is, instead of adding 34 and 34, I could take 34 and times it by 2. Instead of doing 54, add up 7 times, I could take 54 and times it by 7. And then 21 times 6, and then 87 times 1. And then I divide by how many I have. So I have 7, 8, 9, 10, I have 16. So what I would then do is take out my calculator and clear that out, and then type those in. 34 times 2 plus, I'm using my keypad. I didn't write that one out correctly, so I need to make sure I have 54 in there. Because it's 54 times 7, 21 times 6, 87 times 1. So 54 times 7 plus 21 times 6 plus 87. 87 times 1 is 87. And then I divide that by 16. We get 41.1875 if I don't round. Not too bad. But since I have my graphing calculator out, let's just do this. Let's go back to Stat, go back into Edit. I'm going to clear those numbers out. I could type over top of them, but I just want to clear them out. The easiest way to do that is take your arrow, move it up to L1, hit clear. It doesn't clear out, but when you bring it back down, it's all cleared out. So now I'm going to type in those 4 numbers. I'm just hitting 34, enter, 54, enter, 21, enter, 87, enter. Then I'm going to go over to L2, hit 2, enter. In case you're wondering, I use my keyboard. Now I'm using the actual calculator to type these numbers in. So I have those in. 34, 54, 21, 87, 2761. Second quit. Now some calculators are easier to use than others on this one. So what I want to do is go to Stat, go over to Calc. I still want to do the 1var stats. Now I think you have a TI-84CE. It's a lot easier to do the next step because you'll see exactly what to type in. But if you notice, I'm going to clear this out. Stat, Calc, I have an L1 and L2. Keep those in mind. L1, L2. Because I need to use those. So I'm going to go to Stat, Calc, Enter. L1, I'm going to type that in. L1, L2. L1 is above the 1. So I hit second L1, and then here's the comma, and then second L2, and then hit Enter. See that? Neato, isn't it? Now Excel really won't do it in a shortcut fashion that I know of, and you may know of a way. I don't know of a way, but StatCrunch will. I have those numbers already tapped in. 34, 54, 21, 87. So watch this. So now I'm going to go to Stat, Summary Stats, Columns. I'm going to click L1, var1 and var2. Well, var1, hit the control key, and hit var2. It brings them both up. That is not correct. I gotta hit cancel. See, that was wrong. Gotta pay attention. Hit Stat, Summary Stats, Summary Stat, Grouped bin data. This is for those frequency tables like this. So make sure you do this. And then you'll see the bins pop up. The bins are actually the classes. So that'd be var1. The counts are the frequencies. So that'll be var2. And I just want the mean. So click on that. That appears over there. Then hit compute. And you'll see the answer. 41.1875. That is actually really easy. And I'm going to do another example to show you that. That's not on my notes. Because you need to see this. In fact, I'm going to do one in the homework. Because what's going to happen is, a lot of times on these, and these are the hardest ones, you actually will be given classes, and then in that case you got to use class midpoints. And so let's say you had this. We're just going to do 3 values. So let's say you had 7 to 9, 10 to 12, and 13 to 16, or 13 to 15. The reason why I want to make them all even, because I want my classes to have the same width. So 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 3 more is 13. 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 3 more is 15. And the frequency, I just make them up. 2, 4, and 8. So I want to use midpoints. So the midpoint of these two will be found by adding up the two numbers. You get 8. Or you can just look in the middle and see it's 8. And then if I add 3 more, I get 11. If I add 3 more, I get 14. So if I do it by hand, I would do 8 times 2. I'll put that in parentheses. Just like I did the first example. And then divide by the total number, which is 14. And so, I can do it with the graphing calculator also. I just gotta use midpoints. That's the only thing you have to watch out for. I am using midpoints. And divide that by 14. And if I round off, call it 29. But the reason I wanted to show you this example is because if you do by calculator, by hand, or however you do it, you gotta find the midpoints yourselves. However, in StatCrunch, that really isn't the case. And so what I'm going to do is, I am going to go to a new data table, and I'm going to type this example in. 7 to 9, if it'll let me. 10 to 12, 13 to 15. And then my frequencies were 2, 4, 8. 2, 4, 8. And I'm really hoping this works because this kind of scares me a little bit. This time I'm going to go to Stat, Summary Stats again, Rows. Oh, I did it again. You gotta watch that. Go to Stat, Summary Stats, Grouped Bin Data. That's what I want. And then my bins are my classes, counts, var2, and I want the midpoints defined by the average of the limits, not the. I want the 7 to 9 to be my where I find my midpoint. So I hit mean, so I'm not going to change that in other words. And hit compute. And we got 12.28. Let's see what I got over here. See that? Exact same value. If I go back, I round out 12.29. See that? I'm telling you, it's really, really, really neat. It's actually so neat. I'm actually in the homework problem again. Notice this one, find the mean. Notice all the numbers of classes. Watch this. There's a number, there's a little box right here, rectangle. If I click that, and I open in StatCrunch, what that does is it actually inputs all the values for me so I don't have to type them in myself. That's really neat. That little box right there types them in, then just go to Stat, Summary Stats, Group Bin Data, take it from there. Is that not neat? Play around with it, you'll find out how neat it really is. Let's move on. Let's do this example with GPA. Now I'm going to do this one by hand. So if you know anything about GPA, you know that an A is worth 4 points, a B is worth 3 points, a C is worth 2 points, D is worth 1, and F is 0 points. And so here's how you find GPA. What you do is you find the number of quality points earned, number of points earned. There's all kinds of ways of saying this. I'm just trying to think of the easiest way for you to remember it. Number of points earned divided by the number of credit hours. Here's how you get the points earned. 3 credit hours for an A. A is 4 points. So you got 12 points there. This A, 4 credit hours earned, and the A is worth 4 points. This B, this is a 3 credit hour class, and the B is worth 3 hours. This C, the C is earned this 3 credit hour class, and the C is worth 2 points. So what you're really doing is you're taking credit hours times points. So like an A is worth 4 points, a B is worth 3 points, and a C is worth 2 points. So, and then last one, an F for a 1 credit hour course. So 1 credit hour course earned 0 points because F was 0 points. So this represents an A for a 3-hour course. This was an A for a 4-hour course. This was a B in a 3-hour course. This was a C in a 3-hour course. I'm actually going to reverse that just so you know what I did. That was right. A 3-hour course and earned a C. And then a 1-hour course had an F. So the 1-hour course got an F. And then I divide that by the total number of credits. So I had 3 credits plus 4 credits plus 3 credits plus 3 credits. Yes, even the 1. 3, 6, 9, 10 is 14 hours. Now I'm going to take out my calculator. I'm going to just type it in by hand. And hopefully you can do a lot of this in your head, but maybe not. 3 times 4 plus 4 times 4 plus 3 times 3 plus 3 times 2 plus 1 times 0 divided by 14. And I round out the 2 decimal places, 3.07, and there's your GPA. Not so bad. Now, mean may not always be the best thing to use, because a lot of times you like live in a neighborhood. Let me show you. If you live in a neighborhood, you have a house that costs $150,000. You have another house that costs $170,000. Then you have another house that costs $1,200,000. Mean will not make any sense, because that's as far as determine the average value of the homes in the neighborhood. That $1.2 million home is going to cause the overall average to go way up. It's great if you're trying to sell, but it's terrible if you're trying to buy, especially if you're trying to buy one of these houses. So something like the median may be better to use. The median is just nothing more than the middle value. Outliers do not affect the median at all. And how do you find the median? First thing is, which is the most important thing is their range in ascending order, smallest to largest. And if you ever see me use the big M, that is referring to median. If there's an odd number of values, it's the middle value. If it's an even number of values, it's the mean of the two middle values. Now this helps you with finding the median. It does not equal the median. It tells where, not what. So here we go. We're going to find the median of these numbers. First thing I always do is make sure they're in correct order. Yes. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So an odd number, it's just the middle value. And so one way to find that is, if you can use the position formula, you can just think about it and just see it's 6. It's a 6 value. But if you want to, you can take the n plus 1 formula and divide it by 2. And there are 11 values. Plus 1 more is 12. Divided by 2 equals 6. It's a 6 value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the median is 67. That's the easiest one you can be asked to find, or asked to do. Now, watch this. I think I already have these numbers in an Excel file. Let's see. Yes, I do. So what you can do is, you can go back to your data analysis, descriptive statistics, click OK. This time, I don't want to use that, so I'm going to click in there, highlight, and now those pop up. Summary statistics, yeah, output range, I don't want to use that. So I'm just going to click up here somewhere and click OK. What is the median? Right there, 67, which was what we got. I can also use my graphing calculator and go to stat. I'm going to this over here. Enter. I'm going to clear that out because I don't want it in there. Clear. I'm going to type in those numbers quickly. 12, 15, or as quickly as I can without messing up. Don't want to mess up. And if I don't get this answer, it probably means I typed in something wrong. So let's go second quit, stat, calc, one var stats. Anytime I only have one list, or I'm not doing frequency tables, so I just do calc, enter, enter. And I don't see it anywhere, but if I scroll down, there's more information. Median, there it is, 67. And then the last thing I want to show you, of course, my favorite and your favorite. There's the numbers. So I'm just going to go to stat, summary stats, columns. I'm looking at variable 3. And then I can look down here, look for median, and hit compute. And there's median over there. And click compute. 67, my favorite. Reason why it's my favorite, because you don't have to type those numbers in if you're doing a homework problem in the system. So I'm going to do this one by hand only. I've shown you the other ways to do it. So I'm just going to do it by hand. And the first thing we want to do, we want to put it in correct order. And so from smallest to largest, 3 is the smallest number. And then I see an 8. And then I see a 33. I see another 33. Then I see a 44. I probably should be putting commas between these. And then I see a 56. and then I see a 67, and then I see 76, and then 98, and then 102. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So on this one, I'm going to do the position formula. N plus 1 divided by 2, which is 10 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 11 divided by 2, which is 5.5. So it's between fifth value and sixth value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's in there. So to find that median, I do 44 plus 56 divided by 2. And that is 100 divided by 2, which is 50. So our mean is 50. Not so bad. Let me show you a little trick on how you can do this. And well, I really don't want to do this, but we'll do it kind of quickly. I'd go from this without having to type in those values into Excel into StatCrunch. Watch this. I'm going to copy all those. I'm going to Excel file. I'm going to create a new sheet. Watch this. This is just something extra. Notice it looks bad, doesn't it? Did you know if you go to data and then text the columns, then delimit it, next, and then click on comma and space, because these have comma and spaces in them, then click finish. What it does is it separates them all out into individual cells. And watch this. I'm going to copy that and then transpose. It puts them in vertical format. I'm going to delete that column. And then I'm going to take that, copy those. I'm going to go into StatCrunch. I'm just going to put them there. And then I'm going to go to Stat, Summary Stats, Columns, and I want to go to var 5. I just want the median. Click Compute, and you see 50, which is what I found there. Not too bad. But like I said, in the homework, you don't have to do all that. You can just click on that rectangular box, take it from there. Now the mode is the data that occurs most often with the greatest frequency. In this book, you're allowed to have one mode, more than one mode, or no modes. And so if there's two modes, we say it's bimodal. When more than two have the same greatest frequency, it's multimodal. When no data values repeat it, there's no mode. So let's just do some examples. These are actually the easiest ones to do. So what you want to do is the mode is going to be an actual data value, maybe more than one data value. So let's count those. There's 3 of those 1s, there's 3 of those 2s, and there's 4 of those 3s. So the mode of this first one, of A, the answer is 3. It's the data value that occurs most often. Now I can also do that in Excel. I've already got them listed here. So what you want to do is you want to go to data analysis, descriptive statistics. Okay. I'm going to change that. I'm going to highlight those, just make sure they're there. I want to make sure I have the output somewhere's over there. Something's not right, didn't like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that again, and then we're going to do this again. I'm going to delete that. Maybe that was a problem. Probably not. And then we have our mode right there. And then StatCrunch, I have them right there, so I can go into Stat, Summary Stats, Columns, because they're in columns, Variable 4. And I just want the mode. See if it has a mode. There's the mode. And click Compute. Mode is 3. So I'm going to do the rest of them just by hand. I want to always show you how to do it with StatCrunch and Excel, but StatCrunch is the main thing. So there's 3 of those, there's 3 of those, and then 1, 1, 1, 1. So this one has 2 modes. The modes are 1 and 2, because they both occur 3 times. Let's see. There's 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. I think in this book it allows you to have 3. If it doesn't allow you to have 3, then the answer would be no modes. Now these right here, none of these repeat. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's a no mode. So the only one you really have to watch out for is that one. I may have used questions from other books, and so also, because I tend to do that sometimes, and so some books don't allow 3 modes. It could be the case where that's no mode also. Only in case the question from the book that I used doesn't allow for more than 2 modes, but I think this book does. Mid-range, you take it's just the average of the max and the min. That's what it comes down to. It's the middle from the max and the min. And so what you do here is find the mid-range. And this is not difficult, so don't make it difficult. You take the highest value and the lowest value. The lowest value is 24, the highest value is 89. So we're going to add those and divide by 2 and get our answer. Probably 66.5, but we'll find out and make sure. I could be wrong, of course. My calculator won't come on. That's not good. So okay, there it goes. So 24 plus 89 divided by 2. Oh, I was wrong. 56.5. Always check out the calculator. Hey, I'm not perfect. Did you think I was? That's all you do. If you have any questions, let somebody know.